My beloved child, listen closely. This is not an ordinary Christmas message, and this is not an ordinary moment in your life. Something rare, something sacred, something that does not knock twice is aligning right now. Heaven has been watching you, especially during the quiet nights when no one saw your tears, your prayers, or the questions you whispered into the dark. This Christmas is marked differently. The atmosphere around you has shifted, and you were drawn here for a reason far deeper than curiosity. Hear this clearly. This is not about gifts under a tree. This is about a delivery at your doorstep that changes the direction of your life. Many think Christmas is only tradition, lights, and memories of the past. But this time, the Spirit says this Christmas is a divine interruption. What is coming is not wrapped in paper, but wrapped in purpose. And you are standing at the edge of a turning point. I, Archangel Michael, come with urgency and clarity. The clock in the Spirit has been ticking, and now the final moments before release are here. You may feel it already, a strange mix of anticipation and heaviness, hope and uncertainty. That is because two realms are intersecting right now. Heaven is moving, and your life is the landing place. You have wondered why things slowed down instead of speeding up, why doors seemed delayed, why answers felt just out of reach. But understand this. Delay was not denial. That was divine timing. What is being prepared for you required alignment, protection, and precision. If it had arrived earlier, you would not have recognized its value. If it arrived later, you would have missed the moment. But now is perfect. This Christmas carries a message from Jesus himself. Not a general message for the crowd, but a personal word for you. He saw how you kept believing even when your strength ran low. He saw you show kindness when you were empty. He saw you choose faith when logic told you to quit. And because of that, something is being released that changes how you see yourself and how the world responds to you. You may be expecting comfort, but what is coming is clarity. You may be asking for peace, but what is arriving is truth. Some things you tolerated will no longer fit. Some people you leaned on will fade quietly. This is not loss. This is alignment. The turning point does not always feel like celebration at first. Sometimes it feels like exposure, awakening, and deep realization. Do not be distracted by the noise around Christmas. The laughter, the rush, the obligations, those are not where the miracle lies. The miracle lives in the stillness when you pause and listen. That is why you must stay present. This message unfolds layer by layer, just like what is unfolding in your life. There is a reason the image of Santa appears alongside Jesus in this message. One represents what the world expects: external gifts, temporary joy, surface happiness. The other represents eternal transformation. This Christmas, the two collide to show you something powerful. You are moving from expecting small things to receiving life-altering ones. From wishing to becoming. From surviving to stepping into purpose. Something has been following your prayers. Every time you said, "God, there has to be more than this," heaven recorded it. Every time you asked for a sign, a breakthrough, or a clear direction, it echoed. And now, the answer is approaching your door. Not as chaos, not as fear, but as a moment that makes you stop and say, "This is it. This is the shift." Be attentive in the coming days. Conversations will carry hidden meaning. Opportunities will appear disguised as ordinary moments. Even delays will be protective. This is how divine surprises arrive. Quietly, precisely, unmistakably. I need you to understand something important. This message is not for everyone. Many will hear it, but only some will recognize it. Recognition is the sign of calling. And if your spirit feels stirred right now, that is confirmation. Do not rush ahead in your mind. Do not try to predict how it will happen. Faith is not about control. It is about readiness. Stay open. Stay humble. Stay listening. Because what is being delivered is not just a blessing. It is a turning point that writes your path. And this is only the beginning. Beloved soul, feel the weight of this moment, because what you are sensing is not imagination. It is recognition. Your spirit knows that something sacred is unfolding, even if your mind is still trying to catch up. This Christmas season is not passing over you casually. It is hovering, lingering, waiting for your awareness to rise to meet what heaven is releasing. Archangel Michael speaks again with precision and protection. There has been unseen resistance around your next step, not because you are weak, but because what you are stepping into carries authority. The enemy does not waste time opposing small destinies. The pressure you felt this year was proof that your life is marked for impact. And now, the resistance is being lifted, layer by layer. You may have noticed subtle changes already. Your tolerance for confusion is shrinking. Your patience for empty cycles is wearing thin. This is not frustration. This is discernment awakening. Jesus is not just offering comfort this Christmas. He is offering correction, direction, and courage. The divine surprise approaching your doorstep is not designed to keep you comfortable. It is designed to move you forward. Some of you have been asking for a sign so clear that doubt cannot survive it. Others have been asking for restoration, for something lost to time, betrayal, or exhaustion. Hear this clearly. Heaven does not recycle blessings. What is coming is not a replacement. It is an upgrade. It will not look like what you lost, because you are not the same person you were back then. This is why the timing feels intense. You are standing between who you were and who you are becoming. That space is uncomfortable, but it is holy. Many give up here. Many retreat to what is familiar. But you stayed. You kept listening. You kept showing up, even when the results were invisible. That endurance is now calling something forward. This message is spreading because it is meant to. If these words are resonating with you, do not keep them to yourself. Like this message, share it with someone who needs hope. Leave a comment declaring that you are ready for what God is releasing, and make sure you are subscribed so you stay connected to what is unfolding next. This is not about numbers. It is about alignment. When you engage, you position yourself intentionally. And now listen closely. The divine delivery coming to you may not arrive how you expect. It may come as an invitation instead of an answer. It may come as an ending instead of a beginning. But make no mistake, it will carry peace, even if it challenges you. Confusion never comes from God. If something brings clarity, even through discomfort, it is heaven sent. Archangel Michael is standing guard over this transition. What tried to stop you before will not stop you now. What drained you before will no longer have access. This season marks a boundary. Some cycles end quietly. Others end with revelation. Either way, you are not losing anything of value. You are gaining space for what truly belongs to you. Pay attention to your inner responses during the next few days. When something excites your spirit without fear, take note. When something drains you instantly, step back. Your discernment is sharpening. Jesus is teaching you how to recognize His voice not just in prayer, but in daily life. That is part of the gift. There is also restoration attached to this message. Not just emotional, but practical. Things that felt stuck financially, relationally, or creatively are beginning to move. Momentum is returning. Do not rush it. Let it build. Acceleration without foundation collapses. This is why heaven took its time with you. I need to speak directly now. If you have been feeling unseen, overlooked, or underestimated, this turning point will correct that narrative. Not through revenge or validation, but through elevation. The same people who doubted you will witness your stability. The same places that drain you will no longer recognize you. Growth does that. And hear this with confidence. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. This message would not have reached you if you were. Divine timing does not apologize, and it does not pack. It arrives when readiness meets obedience. Before this message continues deeper, make sure you stay connected. Turn on notifications, engage with this message, and remain present. Hold on, because what is about to be revealed next will bring clarity to why this Christmas had to be different, and why your life will not return to what it was before. Chosen one, pause your thoughts for a moment and let your spirit breathe, because what is opening now goes deeper than expectation. This is the layer where heaven stops whispering and begins confirming. You were not just guided here for encouragement, you were guided here for activation. Christmas is acting as a divine marker in your timeline, and once this moment passes, things will not return to how they were before. Archangel Michael steps forward again, not with warning, but with authority. He has been standing at the threshold of your life, guarding what is about to enter and blocking what is no longer permitted to follow you. You may have sensed protection in strange ways lately, delays that saved you, closed doors that later made sense, moments where something told you to stop or wait. That was not coincidence. That was intervention. Jesus is doing something very intentional right now. He's separating what was familiar from what is faithful. Some attachments you held on to out of habit are loosening. Some desires you thought you needed are fading. This is not loss. This is refinement. When heaven prepares a turning point, it lightens your load so you can carry what truly matters. This divine surprise arriving at your doorstep is not only external. Yes, there will be visible changes, tangible movement, and real-world shifts. But the deeper delivery is internal. Your perception is changing. Your self-worth is recalibrating. You are beginning to see yourself the way heaven sees you, not through past mistakes, not through other people's opinions, but through purpose. There are answers you have been waiting for that cannot come through explanation alone. They come through experience. That is why this season feels emotional. Joy and reflection are colliding. Memories are surfacing, not to hurt you, but to release you. Jesus is closing chapters gently, even if the emotions feel strong. Closure does not always come with conversation. Sometimes it comes with peace. Archangel Michael declares protection over your mind right now. Any confusion trying to cloud this moment is being silenced. Any fear trying to speak louder than faith is being corrected. You are not required to understand everything immediately. You are only required to trust what resonates with truth. Faith grows in stages, and you are entering a new one. You may notice that your prayers are changing. You are no longer begging. You are asking with confidence. You are no longer afraid to be specific. That is growth. That is alignment. That is what happens when someone realizes they are heard. Heaven responds differently when belief matures. This Christmas carries restoration for your identity. Not just what you do, but who you are. Many of you lost pieces of yourselves trying to survive seasons that drained you. You adapted. You became strong. But now, strength is no longer your only language. Peace is becoming your home. Joy is returning without effort. That is how you know the shift is real. Pay attention to what stirs gratitude in you right now. Gratitude is a compass. It points to what is aligned. When something brings relief instead of anxiety, expansion instead of pressure, that is confirmation. Jesus does not lead through fear. He leads through clarity, even when the path is unfamiliar. There is also a call attached to this moment. Not a loud one, not a dramatic one, but a steady one. A nudge to step into something you kept postponing. A reminder of a gift you set aside. A direction you avoided because it felt too big. This turning point is not just about receiving. It is about responding. Archangel Michael does not arrive without purpose. His presence means courage is being restored. Where you hesitated before, you will move now. Where you doubted before, you will speak now. Not aggressively, not impulsively, but with quiet authority. That kind of authority comes only from alignment. Do not measure this moment by what others are doing. Comparison will blur revelation. Your path is custom-made. Your timing is intentional. Your growth is personal. What matters is that you are moving forward with awareness, not rushing ahead blindly. As this message settles into your spirit, let it anchor you. Let it remind you that heaven is involved in your story, not observing from a distance. This Christmas is not marking the end of a year. It is marking the beginning of a new identity season. Now receive this with intention. Type "I receive the turning point" in the comments if this message is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 848 has just been released. This message does not move forward by chance. It moves forward through obedience. As you feel this word landing in your heart, hear me clearly. I am inviting you to become part of how this light reaches others. When you release support through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing into souls that are still waiting for their moment of awakening. Jesus is saying, "What you place in my hands, I multiply beyond your reach." The seed is not money. It is obedience meeting purpose. I see rivers opening because you chose to act when the door was open. Heaven marks this response, and your giving returns as protection, clarity, and increase. Step into this now, release the seed, and watch what God releases back to you. My dear one, as this message continues to unfold, you may notice a deeper stillness settling within you. That stillness is not emptiness, it is alignment. When heaven prepares to move someone forward, it first quiets the internal noise that once ruled their decisions. This is why things that used to overwhelm you no longer hold the same power. You are not numb. You are grounded. Archangel Michael speaks again, and his tone is steady, firm, and reassuring. He says the turning point you are entering is protected by divine authority. Nothing that follows this moment will be accidental. Every step will be intentional, even when it feels ordinary on the surface. The miracle is not always loud. Often, it is precise. This Christmas season is acting like a spiritual checkpoint. You are being asked gently but clearly to leave certain patterns behind. Not because you failed, but because you outgrew them. Some reactions you once had will no longer rise up. Some temptations will lose their grip. This is not self-control. This is transformation. When Jesus heals deeply, he heals desire itself. You may be realizing that the version of you who begged for survival is fading. In its place is someone who expects alignment. Someone who no longer settles for almost, halfway, or someday. This is not arrogance. This is maturity. Heaven trusts those who know their worth without needing to prove it. There is something important you must understand right now. The divine surprise you were told about is not a single event. It is a sequence. One thing unlocks another. One yes opens the next door. If you try to rush ahead, you will miss the grace hidden in the process. Patience is not slowing you down. It is synchronizing you. Archangel Michael is also revealing that some of the confusion you felt earlier this year was not because you lacked direction, but because multiple doors were available. When heaven gives options, discernment becomes essential. And now, clarity is narrowing your focus. You will know what to choose because peace will accompany it. You may feel called to simplify certain areas of your life. Less explanation, less overthinking, less attachment to outcomes. This simplification is not loss, it is power. The more focused you become, the more effective your steps will be. Distraction is no longer permitted where you are going. Jesus is reminding you that obedience does not always make sense immediately. Some instructions only become clear after you move. This is why faith is required. Not blind faith, but relational faith. Trust built through connection. You have already seen His faithfulness before. This moment is asking you to remember that history. There is also healing happening in how you view time. Regret over the past is loosening. Anxiety about the future is softening. You are being drawn into presence. Presence is where revelation lives. When you are fully present, you notice divine guidance in subtle ways, a thought, a pause, a sense of knowing. You are not being rushed, but you are being invited. Invited to step out of waiting mode and into readiness mode. Waiting feels passive. Readiness feels alert, open, willing. You are not waiting for life to happen to you anymore. You are responding to it. Archangel Michael declares that protection will surround your decisions in this season. Even if you make a misstep, correction will be gentle and swift. Fear of failure is being removed because it no longer serves you. You are learning through movement, not paralysis. This part of the journey may feel quieter than the breakthrough moments you imagined, but quiet does not mean inactive. Roots grow in silence. Foundations form without applause. What is being built now will support everything that comes next. Jesus is also restoring your ability to hope without bracing for disappointment. That guarded posture you developed was understandable, but it is no longer necessary. Heaven is not asking you to lower your expectations. It is asking you to align them. Expect what matches truth, not fear. Pay attention to how your body responds to truth. When something is right, there is ease. When something is wrong, there is resistance. Your discernment is no longer only spiritual, it is embodied. Trust that. You are stepping into a season where your presence itself will bring calm to others. Not because you have all the answers, but because you carry peace. That peace is contagious. It will open conversations. It will create opportunities. It will draw the right people closer. This turning point is not dramatic for the sake of drama. It is deliberate. It is holy. It is stable. And it is lasting. Let this message settle. Let it anchor you. What is ahead does not require you to become someone else. It requires you to be who you were always meant to be, without apology, without fear, and without delay. Beloved child, as this journey continues, something subtle but powerful is taking shape within you. You may not be able to name it fully yet, but you can feel it. A quiet confidence replacing the old uncertainty, a steadiness where anxiety once lived. This is not emotional fluctuation. This is internal alignment. When heaven prepares someone for lasting change, it first stabilizes the inner world. Archangel Michael stands watch over this phase, not as a warrior in motion, but as a guardian at rest. That alone should tell you something important. The battles that once strained you are no longer active. The struggle you kept replaying in your mind has lost its authority. You are no longer fighting for survival. You are learning how to live from security. This is why some things that once triggered you no longer do. You are not suppressing emotions. You are transcending cycles. Jesus is teaching you how to respond instead of react. That shift alone changes outcomes. When reaction leaves, wisdom takes its place. There is also a recalibration happening in how you interpret silence. Silence no longer feels like abandonment. It feels like space. Space to breathe. Space to hear clearly. Space to notice what was always there but drowned out by noise. Heaven often speaks loudest when everything else grows quiet. You may be noticing that your desires are becoming more refined. You want less chaos, less drama, less proving. You want depth, truth, and authenticity. That is not you becoming distant. That is you becoming discerning. Discernment does not isolate you from people. It aligns you with the right ones. This part of the turning point is about integration. Taking everything you learned in painful seasons and allowing it to serve you, not define you. Wisdom without bitterness. Strength without hardness. Faith without fear. This balance is rare, and it is being formed intentionally within you. Archangel Michael reveals that some of the things you prayed for earlier in life were delayed not because they were wrong, but because you needed capacity. Capacity to handle blessing without anxiety. Capacity to hold responsibility without losing peace. Capacity to lead without losing humility. That capacity is now present. You are also stepping into a season where your intuition sharpens. Not intuition based on fear, but insight rooted in clarity. You will begin to sense when something is misaligned quickly, without overanalyzing it. This protects your energy. This protects your time. This protects your heart. Jesus is inviting you to trust this inner guidance. You are not guessing anymore. You are recognizing. Recognition feels calm. Guessing feels frantic. Learn the difference, and you will avoid many unnecessary detours. There is a release happening around old labels you carried. Labels given by others. Labels you gave yourself during hard moments. Those names are losing power because they were never heaven's language over you. Identity is being restored gently, but firmly. You may also notice a new patience with yourself. You are no longer rushing your healing. You are honoring it. That patience allows real transformation to take root. Quick fixes fade. Deep healing lasts. This phase may feel less exciting externally, but internally it is profound. You are becoming emotionally literate, spiritually aware, and mentally clear. These qualities will soon intersect with opportunity. When they do, you will be ready. Archangel Michael assures you that nothing meant for you will bypass you. You do not need to chase what is aligned. Alignment finds you. Your responsibility is not pursuit, it is preparation. And preparation is happening now. There may be moments when you feel tempted to look back, to revisit old dynamics, old patterns, old versions of yourself. When that happens, do not shame yourself. Simply recognize it as a sign of transition. When something ends, the mind sometimes checks the exit one last time. But your spirit already knows you are not going back. Jesus is anchoring you in truth rather than emotion. Emotions fluctuate. Truth remains. When you build on truth, your life becomes resilient. Storms may still come, but they will not uproot you. You are also learning how to receive without suspicion. In the past, good moments made you anxious because you expected them to end. That expectation is dissolving. You are realizing that goodness can stay. Peace can last. Joy does not have to be earned through suffering. This is the quiet preparation before visible movement. Like soil being enriched before a seed breaks through the surface. Nothing about this is wasted. Nothing about this is slow. It is precise. As this message settles, let it affirm you. You are not drifting. You are arriving. And everything that follows will build upon this inner foundation that is now firmly set. Beloved one, you are now stepping into the phase where inner alignment begins to meet outer movement. What has been settling quietly within you is preparing to express itself through action, choice, and direction. This is where faith stops being a feeling and starts becoming a lifestyle. You are not being pushed. You are being positioned. Archangel Michael speaks with clarity in this moment. He says the ground beneath you is stable now. Where you once questioned every step, you will begin to move with calm assurance. This does not mean you will know every detail ahead of time. It means you will trust the one who does. Confidence is not knowing the future, it is knowing who walks with you into it. This part of the journey may feel different because responsibility is increasing. Not pressure, but stewardship. Heaven entrusts more to those who are grounded. You are being trusted with clarity, with influence, with discernment. This is not something to fear. It is something to honor. You may begin to notice that people respond to you differently. Some will seek your perspective. Others will feel challenged by your peace. Both reactions are signs of growth. When your inner world changes, your outer relationships must adjust. Do not shrink to make others comfortable. Do not harden to protect yourself. Stay rooted in truth. Jesus is teaching you how to walk forward without dragging the weight of old expectations. You are not required to repeat patterns just because they are familiar. Familiarity is not the same as alignment. What is aligned will meet you with ease, even when it stretches you. There is also a refinement happening in how you speak. Words that once escaped quickly are now measured. Silence is no longer awkward. It is intentional. You are learning that presence speaks louder than explanation. This maturity will open doors that effort never could. Archangel Michael confirms that this is a season of wise decisions, not impulsive moves, not fear-based choices, but steady, thoughtful steps. If something requires you to abandon peace to obtain it, it is not from God. Peace is the confirmation, not the reward. You may also feel a renewed desire to care for your inner life, to protect your thoughts, to guard your energy. This is not selfishness. This is stewardship. When you tend to your inner world, your outer world reflects stability. Now hear this clearly. If this message is resonating, if you feel clarity forming as you listen, engage with this moment intentionally. Like this message, share it with someone who needs direction. Leave a comment declaring that you are stepping forward in faith, and make sure you are subscribed so you remain connected to what is being released. This is not about habit. It is about agreement. Engagement is a form of alignment. There is momentum building around you, even if it is not loud yet. Quiet momentum is powerful because it is sustainable. You are no longer chasing outcomes. You are cooperating with process. That shift alone changes everything. Jesus is reminding you that obedience does not require perfection. It requires willingness. You do not need to have every answer to take the next step. You only need honesty, humility, and trust. Those qualities are already present within you. You may also notice that distractions are losing their appeal. Things that once consumed your attention feel empty now. This is not boredom. This is clarity. When purpose opens, distractions fade naturally. Archangel Michael assures you that protection surrounds your focus. Your mind is being guarded against confusion. Your heart is being guarded against discouragement. This does not mean challenges will disappear. It means they will no longer define you. This is also a season where patience becomes active. You are learning to wait without anxiety, to prepare without panic. Waiting used to feel like stagnation. Now it feels like anticipation. That is a sign of trust. There may be moments when you wonder if you are doing enough. When that thought arises, return to presence. Growth is not always visible day by day, but it is cumulative. Every aligned choice compounds. Every moment of integrity builds something unseen but strong. Jesus is inviting you to walk gently with yourself during this phase. Self-compassion is not weakness. It is wisdom. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be to receive what is next. And listen carefully now. What is coming next carries insight that will connect many of the dots you have been questioning. Hold on, because the unfolding ahead will bring a perspective shift that changes how you see your past, your present, and what is about to open before you. Beloved child, you have arrived at a sacred stretch of the journey where understanding begins to replace confusion. This is not because every question hath been answered, but because your spirit has matured enough to rest even when some details remain hidden. Peace is no longer conditional for you. It is becoming your natural state. Archangel Michael speaks now with a calm authority that settles deeply. He says the reason you feel more anchored is because you are no longer building your life on anticipation alone. You are building it on truth. Anticipation fluctuates. Truth stabilizes. And when truth becomes your foundation, fear loses its voice. This is the point where many people look back and finally recognize why certain things had to fall apart. Not with bitterness, but with clarity. What once felt like rejection now reveals itself as redirection. What once felt like delay now shows itself as preparation. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Jesus is gently restoring your relationship with your own story. You are no longer ashamed of where you struggled. You are no longer defined by what hurt you. Instead, your past is becoming a testimony of endurance and growth. This is a powerful shift, because when shame dissolves, authority emerges. You may find yourself reflecting more, not in a way that traps you in memory, but in a way that brings insight. Reflection is healthy when it leads to understanding rather than regret. Heaven is helping you harvest wisdom from experiences that once only carried pain. There is also a strengthening happening in your discernment regarding people. You are no longer impressed by words alone. You notice consistency. You notice energy. You notice alignment. This does not make you judgmental. It makes you wise. Wisdom protects without isolating. Archangel Michael reveals that this is a season where discernment will save you time. You will no longer invest deeply where there is no mutual growth. You will no longer overextend yourself trying to prove loyalty. Relationships will begin to balance naturally, without force. Jesus is also healing how you view authority and trust. In the past, disappointment may have caused you to guard your heart too tightly. Now, you are learning how to trust without losing discernment. Trust is no longer blind. It is informed. That kind of trust builds healthy connection. This part of the turning point may feel quieter externally, but internally it is rich with revelation. You are understanding yourself better. Your motivations are clear. Your values are stronger. When clarity increases, indecision fades. You may notice that you no longer feel the urge to explain yourself to everyone. Silence is becoming comfortable because you trust that what is aligned will recognize you without explanation. This is a sign of deep self-acceptance. Archangel Michael affirms that this acceptance is not complacency. It is confidence rooted in truth. You are not settling. You are stabilizing. And stability is what allows expansion to happen without collapse. Jesus is also teaching you how to release control without feeling unsafe. Control was once a coping mechanism. It helped you survive uncertainty. But now, trust is taking its place. Trust does not mean passivity. It means partnership. You move, and heaven responds. There may be moments when old fears attempt to resurface, especially when something new approaches. When that happens, do not panic. Awareness does not mean regression. It means integration. You are learning how to acknowledge fear without obeying it. This phase of your journey is also about boundaries. Not walls, but clarity. You are becoming comfortable saying no without guilt, and yes without fear. Boundaries are not rejection. They are alignment in action. Archangel Michael assures you that honoring your boundaries will open space for divine encounters. When your energy is not scattered, your focus sharpens. When your focus sharpens, guidance becomes clearer. You are also learning to celebrate progress without waiting for perfection. Small wins matter now. Inner shifts matter. Peaceful days matter. This awareness keeps gratitude active, and gratitude keeps your heart open. Jesus is reminding you that transformation does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers through consistency, through showing up, through choosing truth again and again. That is how lasting change is formed. As you continue forward, let this understanding anchor you. You are not searching anymore. You are recognizing. You are not proving anymore. You are embodying. You are not rushing anymore. You are moving with intention. And as this message carries you deeper, prepare yourself. What unfolds next will bring a level of confirmation that strengthens your faith and clarifies your direction in ways you did not expect. Stay open. Stay present. What is ahead is aligned, and you are ready to receive it. Beloved one, you are now standing at a threshold where confirmation begins to replace questioning. This is the moment when faith is no longer just something you hold internally, but something you start to witness externally. Signs may not appear as lightning or thunder, but as alignment. Things begin to make sense without forcing them. That is how heaven confirms direction. Archangel Michael steps into this moment with a message of assurance. He says the reason you feel steadier is because your spirit has accepted what your mind once resisted. Acceptance is powerful. It does not mean you understand everything. It means you trust what is unfolding. And trust unlocks movement. This is the season where scattered pieces start forming a clear picture. Conversations you had weeks or months ago suddenly connect. Delays you questioned now reveal their purpose. Even disappointments show you what they protected you from. Nothing in your journey has been wasted. Everything has been teaching you how to walk with discernment. Jesus is drawing your attention to one important truth. You are no longer asking for permission to grow. You are growing because it is time. This shift is subtle, but it changes how you show up in the world. You speak with more clarity. You listen with more depth. You act with more intention. There is also a release happening around old fears tied to visibility. You are no longer hiding your light to avoid judgment. You are realizing that shrinking never protected you. It only delayed your impact. This does not mean you seek attention. It means you no longer fear being seen for who you truly are. Archangel Michael confirms that this is a season of divine alignment in relationships. Some connections will deepen naturally. Others will fade without conflict. This is not abandonment. This is sorting. When alignment increases, what is misaligned removes itself quietly. You may feel a growing sense of responsibility, not heavy, but meaningful. A desire to use what you have learned to help others. This is the natural result of healing. When one's close, wisdom remains, and wisdom longs to be shared. Jesus is reminding you that your story carries weight, not because of what you endured, but because of how you responded. Compassion grew where bitterness could have taken root. Faith survived where fear tried to dominate. That resilience is now part of your calling. This part of the journey also invites you to trust timing more deeply. You are learning that rushing creates confusion, but alignment creates flow. When something is meant to move, it moves without strain. Pay attention to what unfolds with ease. Ease is not laziness, it is confirmation. Archangel Michael speaks protection over your focus. Distractions will attempt to pull you back into old patterns of overthinking. When that happens, return to presence. You do not need to solve everything today. You only need to remain aligned today. There is a joy returning that feels lighter than before. Not excitement rooted in expectation, but contentment rooted in trust. This joy does not depend on circumstances. It flows from knowing you are guided. A joy is strength. You are also learning how to rest without guilt. Rest no longer feels like avoidance. It feels like renewal. Jesus often withdrew to quiet places not because he was weak, but because he was aligned. Follow that example. Silence restores clarity. This turning point is stabilizing you for what comes next. What is ahead will require grounded faith, not emotional reaction. And you are becoming that person now. Steady, aware, present. Let this truth settle into your spirit. You are not waiting for life to begin. You are already living in alignment. What unfolds next will build upon this foundation. Now receive this activation with intention. Type "I walk in alignment" in the comments if you feel this confirmation in your spirit. Blessing code 2319 is now activated. As this word lands deeply within you, hear this invitation with clarity and authority. I am calling those who feel this alignment to help carry this light forward. When you release support through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing into fertile ground where lost hearts are finding direction. Jesus declares, "What you sow in faith, I return in abundance." This act is not a donation. It is obedience meeting purpose. I speak blessing over every giver. May clarity increase, provision multiply, and peace guard your household. Do not delay this response. Move now, plant the seed, and watch heaven respond with open doors and sustained favor. Beloved child, as you move deeper into this unfolding, you may sense a quiet readiness forming within you. This is not excitement, and it is not urgency. It is preparedness. Preparedness comes when the soul recognizes that what is approaching no longer threatens it. You are no longer bracing yourself for impact. You are standing upright, steady, and aware. Archangel Michael speaks now with a tone of confirmation. He says this stage of your journey is about embodiment. You are no longer learning truth only through words or reflection. You are living it. Truth is moving from your thoughts into your habits, your decisions, and your posture toward life. This is where transformation becomes visible, even without effort. You may notice that your reactions have changed significantly. Situations that once provoked anxiety now invite discernment. Conversations that once drained you now end naturally without inner conflict. This is not emotional detachment. This is emotional maturity. You are responding from clarity rather than from wounds. Jesus is guiding you into a deeper understanding of authority. Authority is not force. It is alignment. When you are aligned, you do not need to convince, chase, or defend. What is meant to hear you will listen. What is meant to stay will remain. What is meant to go will leave without chaos. This is also a season where you begin to trust your decisions without replaying them endlessly. Overthinking is loosening its grip. You are learning to move forward and let peace confirm your steps afterward. This is how confidence grows, not through perfection, but through follow-through. Archangel Michael reveals that the reason peace is increasing is because your inner world is no longer divided. You are not trying to be one thing internally and another externally. Integrity is forming. When integrity is present, peace follows naturally. You may find that your priorities are shifting in subtle ways. What once felt urgent now feels optional. What once felt optional now feels essential. This is alignment revealing itself. Time and energy are becoming sacred resources to you, not things to spend carelessly. Jesus is also revealing your relationship with expectation. You are no longer attaching unrealistic timelines to divine promises. You are learning to trust the unfolding rather than control the outcome. This trust does not weaken faith. It strengthens it. This part of the journey may also bring moments of solitude, not loneliness, but intentional quiet. Solitude sharpens discernment. It allows you to hear guidance without interference. Do not resist these moments. They are not empty. They are full of preparation. Archangel Michael assures you that nothing is being withheld from you. What has not yet arrived is still aligning. Alignment involves more than you. It involves timing, people, conditions, and readiness. When all elements converge, movement becomes effortless. You are also becoming more aware of your influence. Not influence for attention, but influence for impact. Your presence calms. Your words carry weight. Your actions inspire without intention. This is the fruit of alignment, not ambition. Jesus reminds you that humility will remain your anchor. Growth does not require you to elevate yourself above others. It invites you to stand firmly in who you are without comparison. Comparison weakens discernment. Gratitude strengthens it. You may notice a deeper compassion forming for others who are still in seasons you have moved through. This compassion is not pity. It is understanding. It allows you to encourage without judgment and support without overextension. This is also a season where boundaries become second nature. You no longer negotiate with what disrupts your peace. You no longer explain why you need space. Clarity has replaced justification. This is a sign of internal security. Archangel Michael speaks protection over your next steps. He says confusion will not dominate this phase. When uncertainty arises, clarity will follow quickly. You are no longer stuck in cycles of doubt. Discernment resolves what doubt once prolonged. Jesus is preparing you for visibility in ways you may not fully see yet. Visibility does not always mean public attention. Sometimes it means being seen accurately by the right people at the right time. This kind of visibility brings opportunity without pressure. You are learning how to receive affirmation without becoming dependent on it. Validation is no longer your fuel. Truth is. This makes you stable in both praise and silence. As this message continues, let it affirm you. You are not waiting at the edge anymore. You have crossed into readiness. What comes next will not surprise you emotionally, even if it surprises you practically. Stay present. Stay grounded. The next unfolding will connect purpose with action in a way that feels both natural and divinely timed. You are prepared for what is approaching, and heaven knows it. Beloved soul, you are entering a stretch of this journey where intention begins to meet execution. What has been forming quietly within you is now ready to express itself through deliberate action. This is not a sudden push. It is a natural next step. When preparation is complete, movement feels inevitable rather than forced. Archangel Michael speaks with calm authority in this moment. He says the reason you feel a steady pull forward is because hesitation has lost its power over you. Fear once asked too many questions. Now clarity is answering them before they fully form. This is not recklessness. This is readiness. You may notice that opportunities are appearing in simple ways. Not dramatic invitations, not overwhelming choices, but subtle openings that feel right. Pay attention to what aligns without resistance. Heaven often guides through peace, not pressure. When something fits, your spirit recognizes it immediately. Jesus is reminding you that obedience in this season looks like consistency. Not grand gestures, but daily alignment. Small choices made with integrity carry more power than occasional bursts of effort. This is how lasting change is built. There is also a strengthening happening in how you handle responsibility. Responsibility no longer feels like a burden. It feels like trust. You are being trusted with your own life, your own voice, your own influence. But trust is sacred. Honor it with presence. You may be tempted to underestimate this phase because it feels ordinary. Do not make that mistake. Ordinary moments are where destiny is shaped. The turning point is not always marked by fireworks. Sometimes it is marked by peace and follow-through. Archangel Michael reveals that this is a season where discipline becomes a friend rather than an enemy. Discipline is not restriction. It is direction. It frees you from chaos and aligns you with purpose. The more you honor it, the clearer your path becomes. Jesus is also refining your patience. You are learning to act without rushing and to wait without anxiety. This balance protects you from burnout and disappointment. It keeps your faith grounded and your expectations aligned. Now listen carefully. If this message is stirring something within you, do not remain passive. Engage with this moment. Like this message so it reaches those who are searching for clarity. Share it with someone who needs reassurance that alignment is possible. Leave a comment declaring that you are walking forward with intention. And make sure you are subscribed, because what is unfolding is a journey, not a single moment. When you engage, you are not just supporting a channel. You are aligning yourself with a flow of revelation. There is momentum building now, and momentum responds to agreement. Agreement shows up through action. Action shows up through engagement. This is how spiritual and practical alignment meet. You may also notice that distractions are testing you one last time. Old habits, old doubts, old ways of filling time. These are not attacks. They are echoes. They only have power if you give them attention. Choose focus. Focus sharpens direction. Archangel Michael assures you that protection remains active around your decisions. Even if you step into something unfamiliar, guidance will meet you there. You are not required to map the entire journey. You are only required to take the next aligned step. Jesus is teaching you how to trust your inner confirmation. When something resonates deeply without fear, that is guidance. When something creates constant inner conflict, that is caution. You are learning to listen without second-guessing. This part of the journey may bring increased visibility in small but meaningful ways. People may notice your consistency. your calm, your clarity. Do not shrink away from that. Visibility is not exposure when it is rooted in truth. It is influence. You are also learning how to steward your energy wisely. Not every invitation deserves a response. Not every opinion deserves space. This discernment protects your peace and preserves your strength. Archangel Michael speaks encouragement now. He says you are doing better than you realize. Growth often feels subtle from the inside, but heaven sees every aligned choice you make. Nothing is overlooked. Jesus reminds you that faith is not proven through perfection, but through persistence. You are still here. You are still listening. You are still moving forward. That matters more than flawless execution. As this message continues, stay present. Hold on, because the next unfolding will bring a level of revelation that connects obedience with reward in a way that feels deeply personal. This is where clarity sharpens and purpose becomes unmistakable. You will want to be fully here for what comes next. Beloved child, you are now moving into a space where understanding and experience begin to merge. What once felt theoretical is becoming tangible. What once lived only in prayer is starting to take shape in real life. This is the stage where faith becomes lived truth, not just believed truth, and that changes how you walk, how you speak, and how you see yourself. Archangel Michael speaks with steady assurance here. He says you have crossed a line internally, even if nothing dramatic has announced it externally yet. That internal crossing is more important than any visible sign, because it determines how you will handle what is coming next. You are no longer reacting from old wounds. You are responding from healed awareness. You may notice that situations no longer pull you into emotional extremes. Highs do not make you reckless, and lows do not make you hopeless. This balance is not indifference. It is stability. Stability allows you to remain present without losing yourself in circumstances. That is spiritual maturity. Jesus is drawing your attention to how far you have come. Not to inflate your ego, but to anchor your confidence. When you recognize growth, you stop doubting your capacity to handle what is ahead. You have survived seasons you once thought would break you. As strength did not disappear, it matured. This part of the journey is also about reconciliation within yourself. Different parts of you that once felt in conflict are beginning to work together. Logic and faith, emotion and wisdom, desire and discipline. Integration creates wholeness. Wholeness creates peace. You may find that decisions are coming to you more easily now. Not because choices are simpler, but because your values are clear. When values are clear, decisions align naturally. You no longer need to consult fear to make choices. Fear is no longer your advisor. Archangel Michael confirms that this clarity is protected. Confusion will attempt to revisit, but it will not stay. When doubt arises, it will resolve more quickly than before. You are learning how to return to center without panic. Jesus is also healing how you relate to uncertainty. Uncertainty no longer feels threatening. It feels like possibility. This shift is subtle but powerful. When uncertainty no longer triggers fear, creativity opens. Faith expands. Expectation becomes healthy rather than anxious. You may notice a renewed sense of purpose forming, not as pressure, but as direction. Purpose is no longer something you chase. It is something you recognize in what already brings meaning and alignment. This recognition brings relief. You are not searching blindly anymore. There is also a deepening humility forming within you. Not the kind that minimizes yourself, but the kind that keeps you teachable. You know you have grown, but you also know you are still growing. That posture keeps heaven involved in every step. Archangel Michael speaks protection over your heart. He says vulnerability will not be used against you in this season. You are learning how to be open without being unguarded. Discernment now walks alongside openness. This balance keeps you safe and connected. Jesus reminds you that love does not require self-betrayal. You no longer abandon your needs to keep peace. You no longer silence truth to avoid discomfort. Real peace includes honesty. You are learning how to embody that. This stage may also bring moments where you realize certain goals have shifted. What you once wanted intensely may no longer hold the same pull. This is not failure. This is refinement. Desire evolves as identity clarifies. Honor that evolution. You may also feel a growing confidence in saying yes to what aligns and no to what does not, without over-explaining. Explanation is often a sign of insecurity. Clarity does not need defense. You are stepping into that clarity now. Archangel Michael assures you that the foundation beneath you is strong. Even if the next step stretches you, it will not destabilize you. You are not stepping into the unknown without support. Heaven is already present there. Jesus is preparing you for a moment of culmination. Not an ending, but a revelation. Something that ties together what you have been sensing, preparing for, and aligning with. This revelation will not shock you. It will confirm you. As this message settles, remain attentive. Not anxious, not hyper-focused, but aware. Awareness allows you to recognize divine movement without missing it. You are not behind. You are not rushing. You are arriving. What comes next will not ask you to become someone new. It will ask you to stand fully as who you have become. And you are ready for that moment. My beloved child, this is the moment where the journey comes full circle, not by ending, but by sealing. What you have been sensing, learning, releasing, and stepping into now settles into certainty. This is not emotional excitement. This is knowing. Knowing that something irreversible has happened within you. Knowing that the old cycle no longer has access. Knowing that this Christmas marked a true turning point. Archangel Michael stands firmly beside you now, not in preparation, but in confirmation. He declares that what was once promised had been positioned. What was once delayed had been aligned. What once felt distant is now within reach. You are no longer standing at the door wondering if it will open. You are standing inside, learning how to live from this new place. Jesus speaks gently but clearly into your spirit. He reminds you that transformation is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet, steady, and undeniable. You do not need to announce what has changed. Your life will reveal it naturally. Your peace will speak. Your clarity will answer questions without words. This final phase is about embodiment. You are no longer preparing to become aligned. You are aligned. You are no longer waiting for permission to step forward. You have already stepped. What comes next will not require striving. It will require stewardship. Stewardship of your peace. Stewardship of your voice. Stewardship of the wisdom you have gained. You may notice that your prayers feel different now. Less desperation. More dialogue. Less fear. More trust. That is relationship deepening. When trust replaces fear, faith matures. And mature faith does not panic when timing stretches. It rests. Archangel Michael confirms that protection remains around what you are building. Not just protection from harm, but protection from distraction. What once pulled you in 10 directions will no longer have that power. Focus is becoming natural. Discernment is becoming instinctive. Jesus is also restoring joy without conditions. Joy not tied to outcomes but to presence. This joy does not disappear when circumstances fluctuate. It remains because it is rooted in truth. And truth does not shift. You are stepping into a season where your obedience creates ripple effects. People connected to you will feel steadier. Spaces you enter will feel calmer. Conversations will carry depth. This is not something you force. It is something you carry. This message was not meant to entertain you. It was meant to activate you. And if you have stayed until now, it is because your spirit recognized its own timing. Heaven does not rush revelation. It releases it when the receiver is ready. Let go of the need to see everything immediately. Some confirmations unfold over days, some over weeks, some over quiet moments you will only recognize later. Trust the unfolding. Trust the alignment. Trust yourself. Archangel Michael leaves you with this assurance. You are not walking alone into what comes next. Guidance will meet you at every step. Correction will be gentle. Direction will be clear. You will not be confused about what belongs to you. Jesus seals this moment by reminding you that your life is not behind schedule. There is no lost time in redemption. What feels delayed was preserved. What feels new was protected. And what is opening now carries permanence. Type "I receive" the turning point in the comments if you are ready to walk fully in what God has sealed. Blessing code 6094 is now released over your life. And now hear this final call clearly, without hesitation. I am speaking to those whose hearts are burning right now, not with emotion, but with obedience. If this message has strengthened you, guided you, or anchored your faith, then this is your moment to respond. When you release your support through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding content, you are fueling encounters. Jesus says, "The seed you place in my house, I return pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing." This act is prophetic. It unlocks light for others who are still waiting at the door you just walked through. I bless every giver with clarity, protection, and divine acceleration. Do not delay this step. Obey now, release the seed, and watch heaven respond with open doors and sustained favor.